Good evening and thank you for joining us. Former Thunder Bay Mayor Keith Hobbs and his wife Marissa Hobbs have filed a multi-million-dollar lawsuit in the Ontario Superior Court of Justice. The statement of claim stems from the criminal charges laid against the mayor and his wife in 2017. The high-profile trial was held last year, and the couple were both found not guilty of extortion when the verdict was delivered in February of this year. The defendants include the Thunder Bay Police Services Board, the RCMP, the OPP, the Attorney General of Canada, and 13 individuals. The couple is claiming more than $12 million in damages. Court documents allege they were subjected to false arrest, malicious prosecution, and defamation. And the suit claims their reputations and relationships with family and friends have been irreparably damaged and that their health has also been impacted. None of the claims have been proven in court. The Toronto Transit Commission has decided to move ahead with a new streetcar order for Bombardier, and that move is expected to bring a small amount of much-needed work to the Thunder Bay plant. The TTC board has granted the Transit Commission the authority to negotiate a $140 million order for 13 streetcars. That order is to include an option for up to 47 additional cars, bringing the total to 60. However, that would require a $360 million investment from senior levels of government. Some TTC board members did express concern about entering into another deal with Bombardier, given its spotty delivery and performance record in the past. But in the end, they agreed with TTC staff that the company provides the best option to ensure extra cars are put into service over the next 5 years.
All the issues that we had early on and on the first 67 trains, weld issues, significant ones that Bombardier is now addressing through the major repair program, those have been long since resolved. And since then, we believe we have been receiving a quality product.
My preference would be to go to the market, but obviously we've been told that they can't. Other companies can't deliver on time, and we need those streetcars on time. So based on that, I'm going to support it.
We are today committing to long-term employment in an economy that desperately needs it. And so putting our cards on the table and saying to the government, you want your economy to recover? Put this line back to work. We need these vehicles. We told you 20 months ago, before anybody ever heard of COVID-19, we need these vehicles. And now you have a way to help us recover, help Thunder Bay recover.
The TTC board unanimously approved the deal, but added that it must include strong penalties for late delivery. Politicians from both Thunder Bay and Toronto continue to lobby the province and Ottawa for the additional funding required to bring that contract up to the full 60 cars. Well, anyone who was hoping for answers from Mayor Bill Morrow last night regarding pinhole leaks was left disappointed. Morrow's only comment on the issue at the mayor's virtual town hall meeting was to provide additional contact information for residents to file their complaints. Most of last night's session was instead dedicated to questions about the proposed turf facility at Chapels Park. Ryan Benazzo has more.
Protesters who had gathered outside City Hall earlier in the day to demand answers from the mayor and other municipal leaders regarding the pinhole leaks in water pipes coming into their homes couldn't have been happy with what they heard during Wednesday evening's town hall. Mayor Bill Morrow's only comment on the issue was to provide the email and phone number of the compliance and quality control manager at the city's water treatment plant.
Tony.santos@thunderbay.ca. That's TONY.SANTOS@thunderbay.ca. Or you can call this number 684-2160 to report any concerns.
And when a resident did submit a question about the leaks, the audience didn't get to hear it.
The question received was about pinhole leaks, but you provided information.
Was about?
About pinhole leaks.
Okay.
And you provided some information at the beginning of the meeting about
The municipality has repeatedly said it can't comment publicly on the matter. The majority of the mayor's first virtual town hall meeting since the pandemic began focused on the recently approved $33 million turf facility at Chapels Park, with Morrow reiterating his staunch support.
Every city in this province is fighting for people, they're fighting for talent, and it's my belief that some of these investments have a significant impact on the determination around people and where they will choose to live and work.
Ryan Benazzo, TBT News.
The evacuation of Nescantaga is complete, with flights over the past few days bringing 233 community members here to Thunder Bay. Now, the focus shifts to fixing the water supply issues that forced the community to declare a public health emergency and evacuate. In addition to covering the cost of the evacuation, Federal Indigenous Services Minister Mark Miller says the government is moving quickly to solve the issues in the community so that they can begin the process of repatriation. Nescantaga has been under a boil water advisory for 25 years, and Miller says the time where this should have been fixed has long since passed.
I don't think there's anyone alive that could give them a proper explanation for why it's been a quarter century that they've been on a long-term water advisory. It's a disgrace. The federal government invested in the aggregate about $16.5 million in a new plant that is pretty much ready to go. There is a distribution system, obviously, that is still not working and leaking, and that we're moving to repair, as well as a connected wastewater problem, principally in and around capacity that we have teams on the ground to address.
First Nations leaders, along with Chief Chris Muniz, have released a list of 7 demands. They say once those demands are met, the process of returning to their community can begin. The sense in Nescantaga is they're fed up with living conditions and they're willing to stay in Thunder Bay as long as they need to.
Would somebody else in this community, in Thunder Bay, put up with this? Westford residents, would they put up with this? Would residents at East End put up with this? We're tired of it. We're not going to put up with this anymore. If I have to keep my community people here, if they want to stay here and not go back, and if I have to keep my community here on my own dime and run into third party, I will.
A new case of COVID-19 has been confirmed in the Thunder Bay area. The health unit says the exposure is related to travel, but no other details have been made available. It is the district's only active case. Meanwhile, lower than expected use of the COVID-19 testing center at Confederation College is leading to a change of focus for that site. The center will now be offering testing to broader populations, including asymptomatic long-term care visitors. Corey Nordstrom has more.
An average of 40 to 50 school-related patients coming per day to the COVID-19 testing center at Confederation College is playing a role in changes at the site, with the hospital looking to use it to cover some new mandates from the province.
We're now going to start testing asymptomatic long-term care visitors as well as international travel. We'll be testing those individuals at the school assessment site in the afternoons, just to utilize the space a little bit better and to separate asymptomatic patients from symptomatic patients, which is something we've wanted to do from the beginning.
That significant backlog in testing from weeks ago has been aided by the new testing center. And the province recently lowered the number of tests being done per day in Thunder Bay, but lower demand at the center suggests they weren't near the allowable limit, and they're making sure there are testing spots open for those who need it.
Even though our online booking looks like we do not have any spots for a week, we do have priority spots for symptomatic people on a daily basis. So if you are having symptoms, please call our line to get an appointment.
Currently, test results are coming back in 2 to 5 days. Meanwhile, Park says they are still about a week away from moving the hospital's assessment center into the Medical Arts Building, and a number of other changes are also in the works.
We're opening up a call center, so the call center will be separate from the actual assessment center, which will help us manage the amount of calls. There'll be a clinician in that space as well. We just recently changed our website, and there are some different options on the website. Also one to leave a message and to have a nurse call you back with results.
Corey Nordstrom, TBT News.
The COVID-19 pandemic has led to a surge in demand for the flu shot this year. But because indoor capacity restrictions have caused a problem, the Lakehead Nurse Practitioner-led clinic wasn't going to be able to meet that demand. So they have now taken their flu shots outdoors in a drive-through program. And today marked the start of that effort. Michael Mohorovich reports.
250 people made appointments to receive the flu shot outside of the former McKellar Hospital Thursday during the first day of the drive-through flu shot program, With demand surging, the clinic believes programs like this will help cut the backlog when all of the new health and safety protocols make it difficult to provide the vaccine efficiently.
We would not be able to have the capacity to deal with that volume in our clinic because we have to clean between patients and such. And this way we can do a vast number of patients in a small amount of time. I've been a nurse practitioner for 20 years, which is a really long time. I'm dating myself, but there's never been a demand like this. And you know, often it's not children, but this year children as well. And certainly all of our seniors are very interested in getting it done.
Bill Highbine was one of the clients to receive the shot, and he says this year he felt it was even more important to get the flu vaccine because of the pandemic. He gets it every year and hopes that efforts like this drive-through will stick around in years to come.
Oh, this is excellent. Yeah, this is a great way to do this. Fast, efficient, no problems. And I, Lakehead Nurse Practitioners is where I deal. Jenna is my nurse practitioner. And the whole operation here is just great.
For now, the program is only available for clients of the clinic. But Delgatti says the clinic is working to partner with other local medical providers to make the drive-through program available to the wider community. But it isn't a sure thing, and a partnership is a key to making that a reality.
We'd be happy to partner within the community, and we're trying to kind of develop a community response through different agencies, so we'll do whatever we have to do to try to help also. We recommend that people get the flu shot every year. And it's just to try and maintain their health, especially everyone should get it, but people with chronic conditions and people over 65 definitely should be getting it.
Michael Mahorovich, TBT News.
The number of new COVID-19 cases in Ontario today was 841, up from 790 reported yesterday. Now, overall, new case levels in the province appear to be stabilizing, but there is growing concern over an increase in the testing positivity rate. Colin DeMello explains.
Despite the province's best efforts, the number of new cases in Ontario has stabilized and does not seem to be coming down. But there are new pressing concerns in some parts of the province about the positivity rates as a result. The second wave of COVID-19 has left public health officials with new concerns.
I'm concerned that its upward climb is not over, especially when I look at COVID-19's renewed eruption in other countries.
Toronto's positivity rate has hit 4.4%, up from 3.1% on Monday, and well above the 2.5%, the number the province has cited as a high alert threshold. This despite the fact that Toronto has been in a modified stage 2 for a week and a half now, with restaurants closed for indoor dining and gyms closed altogether. Health experts are confident, though, that the provincial measures will help bend the curve.
It's like turning a cruise ship, right? Like it's going to turn, but it's going to take a while to do it. And, you know, we might only start to see the first signal in about 2 weeks after these policies were recommended. So we might only start to see the first whiff of evidence that this is working in a few days from now.
That message today echoed Ontario's health minister, who said yesterday that the results of the modified stage 2 should be reflected in the daily numbers in the days to come.
What we expect to see in the next while, the next week or two, will be a reduction in the number of cases. And we are seeing some evidence that that's happening in Ottawa, and we have other evidence that suggests that it is going to go down.
But Ontario recorded another 841 cases today, leaving critics wondering when the curve will come down and what Ontario needs to do to control the second wave. Tomorrow will actually mark exactly 2 weeks since the Ford government moved Toronto, Peel, and Ottawa back into that modified stage 2. The numbers then were in the mid-900s. Today, they're in the mid-800s. At Queen's Park, Colin DeMello, CTV News.
Thunder Bay Fire Rescue is highlighting the importance of smoke detectors after responding to a house fire on the city's north side. The incident occurred just after 10 o'clock last night in the 100 block of Albany Street. Arriving crews reported heavy black smoke and flames coming from the home. Fire officials say the blaze originated in the basement and all occupants evacuated quickly and safely thanks to their working smoke detector. There is no word yet on the cause. And today is Child Care Worker and Early Childhood Educator Appreciation Day. The City of Thunder Bay is honoring ECEs and those who work in the field. An early childhood educator flag was raised at City Hall this morning to celebrate the 20th annual Appreciation Day in Ontario. ECEs work with young children as well as in schools and daycares. Gloria Houston has spent more than 2 decades in the industry. She says it's nice to be recognized.
They are supporting our most vulnerable population, the children under the age of 6 in most of the childcare centers here in Thunder Bay. And the work that they do needs to be highlighted. It is more than just providing a service. It is the heart of nurturing the young children.
The flag will fly here for about a week at City Hall, supporting the work that we do, and I think it's acknowledged that early investments in children provide benefits for the community at large, and I think really that's what today is about, celebrating the work that they do, and it's work that we all benefit from down the road.
ECEs say they face more challenges now than ever before working with young children during the pandemic.
And we're starting to get used to that mixed precipitation. My car will never be clean for the rest of